Hey, and welcome back to Open Door Conversations with me, Pamela, and my beautiful friend Olivia. And it's been a minute. We had a little break there because life took over. And I know you know exactly how that feels when life takes over, when the mind gremlins get in, when life gets so busy, overwhelming, that actually the things that you love get put to the side until you deal with some other stuff. So tonight's a really special conversation. Yeah, a really special one because it's just me and Liv talking about where we've been for the past, what, month, Liv? 6 weeks? I don't even know.
Feels like forever. I'm getting emotional now, even. This wasn't the plan. This wasn't the plan to get all teary. I'm getting teary. Um,
It's okay, but because that's exactly why we're doing this, to come back,
yeah, yeah,
to show others, to help others, to talk, to make people see that they're not alone, that even people who put themselves out there, like me and you, that are
mm,
helping people, healing people, reading for people, working through so many of others' grief, trauma, issues that sometimes we need to take a little step back too and take care of ourselves.
yeah,
And yeah, we do have exciting stuff coming up. We've got so many people excited about our podcast, Liv, that are looking forward to sitting with us and talking with us because we opened that door literally for men to share their experiences, what's going on for them in their lives. But we certainly aren't closing the door to women either because we both need to understand each other.
absolutely, absolutely. Um, I think I just feel like I've just been broken down into a million pieces, and it's mad, isn't it? You go through life, and it's like we all know that like healing is linear, don't we? And that it never really ends. There's not really a stop point with it, but you always you always go through something and then you sort of come out the other side with it and then you're like, right, there can't really be any more, or like, oh, I've got through that. So nothing else is really going to touch the surface. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, if I can deal with that, nothing else is gonna affect me. And then I found what's happened to me this last 6 weeks or however long it's been. I've almost had the spotlight put back on me. And this isn't to punish me. And this isn't to sort of make a show of me or make life painful or difficult. It's, in fact, if anything, this is an opportunity for me to go, actually, I'm still carrying some shit. I've still got some baggage. I'm not perfect. And I'm of the mantra of like, no one's here to be perfect. No one will ever be perfect. That's not reality. And that's not what we're here to do or achieve, I don't think. But my word. And I don't know whether it's because, we just we've started the conversation now with other people and sort of listening to their experience. And it's almost like it was waiting to happen. But listen, I, I want to talk this evening quite openly and quite honestly about stuff. Um, because it's been tough. And actually, I'm just really proud of myself right now to be sitting here having this conversation with you again, because there have been moments in the past few weeks where I just would have given up with it all, really. It's been that painful. It's been that, and actually, you and me both have been through things that are horrendous, like a lot of people have. And these are the things I'm talking about, reflecting on, wow, how did I get through something like that? and you think that nothing's going to challenge you, like I said again, but there is so much. I don't know whether we block things out as human beings. I think when things happen, we just box them and put them to the back of our brains. I think perhaps that there are only certain people and connections that are made in our lives that come along that can, and they're the only ones that can trigger us in certain ways, you know?
Yeah.
And not all these connections are bad connections. You just
No.
automatically assume that to be triggered in this way that I have been triggered in right now, that I've got to be in some bad connection with someone or experiencing um, toxic situations, but I'm not. I'm not. If anything, I'm in a relatively safe situation. But what it's showing me is, and this is really hard to say, I've realized that I'm not as safe as I thought I was. You know,
Completely
it's easy
understand
to
that.
point the finger all the time at people and say, it's always men that are not safe. But actually, and this is why it's important, isn't it? And this is why we're both like, these conversations that we're having here are for men and for women. Because right now, actually, I can hold my hand up and say, do you know what? I am not as safe as, and that's not saying I'm a bad person, because I'm not.
You
I'm
know,
a good person. I'm a good person. But there, you have to recognize that actually you've got some stuff going on. And
yeah,
when that's reflected back to you, if you've got to recognize that actually you can't move forward like that. You
yeah,
actually can't bring that along with you because that's not safe for another person. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
and all of a sudden you're unraveling then. You're like, actually, yeah, I am carrying a bit of, uh, I can't go on like this. And you know what? It's so painful when you address your own stuff because all of a sudden it's just like, oh, I must be terrible. I must be this. I must be that. And it's not. It's just stuff and ways of being and habits and behaviors that we inherit, like we've inherited along the way. You know what I mean? So,
absolutely, Liv. Do you
yeah.
not feel so that, and I hear everything you just said, energetically, I'm going through exactly the same thing. And I know a lot of
Mm,
people out there are too.
mm,
And I feel what you're hitting on there as well is when relationships come into your life, whether it be romantic relationships, friendship relationships,
mm,
that it give you something you've never had before, like that safe feeling. It does trigger us, just like you're saying. And it's not because they're bad, it's because we've still got stuff to work on, we've still got stuff to face. And, you know, I hear this culture of red flags and all the rest of it. And I think it's quite sad in a way. I understand it because at the moment I've been shown to Liv that I'm a massive walking red flag. And I didn't see that in myself before until a connection came into my life in the last few weeks. That actually these people are being brought into our lives to bring stuff up. And I feel that that's part of the problem with the connection with men and women these days and the dating culture, the relationship culture, is because we it's all this beautiful, fun kind of love bombing at the beginning where everything's just wonderful. And then all of a sudden it brings up all this fear, all this trauma, all this stuff that we thought we'd worked on. But actually, like you said, we've repressed, we put to the back of our head because we're so busy doing other stuff. We're so busy working, getting on with our friends, our families, all the rest of it. And it's not until that certain person comes into our lives and it's just like a sonic boom of where everything comes up to the surface. But what I'm seeing, Liv, is you're working on it. But many people don't work on it anymore. They get that
Mm,
fear, they get that trigger, they get that trauma coming up. They blame immediately the other person. It's
yeah,
their fault. They don't make me feel good.
yeah,
Actually, you're not making you feel good because you've got stuff to work on. And we drop that connection so quickly to move on to the next dopamine hit of the initial stages instead of actually going, this is actually what relationships are like, both romantic and friendship, especially romantic. But just
mm,
this is what relationships are like. It's meant to bring up all this stuff for us, it's meant to challenge us so that we can learn, so that we can grow, and that we can even come closer together and build each other up. And it's that safe feeling, isn't it? That word, that feeling.
mm, mm.
And I know many people like yourself, like me, in this healing world. Why did we get into that? Because we never felt safe. So we wanted to be safe, to create that safe space for others.
Yeah.
And healing is constant. And the minute you stop thinking you don't need to work on yourself anymore, oh, does it not bite you in the ass?
It's the thing is, and social media is atrocious for all this. It really is. You know, there's so much stuff that you see, anxious attachments, like great awareness about people's attachment styles and whatnot. But it's almost like if the avoidant does this, then they like you. If the avoidant doesn't do this, they don't like you. Red flags, green flags, what you were talking about, almost like checklists on people. All we're being, all that's happening is we're being built up to leave. We're being built up to leave before anything's had chance to grow.
Yes.
So it's almost like you start dating someone or a friendship begins with somebody and you're almost immediately like pattern seeking. You're already like, green flag. We're not living in the moment. We're not intuitively connecting in, are we? We're already psychoanalyzing and logically processing these connections in our lives. And we're going, but that's okay. So online, I saw that and it said that. And, we're just spiraling, overthinking things. We're not actually letting things naturally unfold. And then all we end up doing is the minute we feel something, or we can't handle the emotions that we're feeling, we leave.
We
Do you know
run.
how many times in the last few weeks I've left? I've
Yeah.
left. I've left, and it's like I'm leaving on an emotion. I'm leaving on fear. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
leaving because the person or the people have actually done anything. I'm leaving because I can't handle these feelings in my body, and that is on me. It's not on them. They haven't done anything. It's all fear based. And it's just, you're right. Like, we are literally hurting ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And then that just makes it the spiraling all worse because, in the back of your mind, you're going, I'm just self sabotaging. I found myself, I'm quite listen, if you have my time, you have my time, and I'll
Yeah.
pour into you and I'll send you silly messages and I'll be around and, it might not be all the time, but I'll always make myself know. And I found myself lately like, oh, I don't know if I'm being too much. I don't know if I should send that message right now because what if they don't want to speak to me? And you think, oh my, I can't even be present in what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't even just like
Just be
fall a bit
you.
in love or just,
Yeah, yeah,
delve into wonderful friendship. Like I can't because I'm just, I'm stopping the whole thing before it's had chance to go anywhere. And I
yeah,
think when you're also in a capacity like we are, and I'll own this, I will own this because this is another thing as well. I'm trying to read for myself on situations. I'm trying to get the cards out.
yeah,
What are you doing? You're not nothing valuable is going to come from this because when you're not even in a place where you can discern for yourself properly, you've just made the problem 10 times worse
yes,
because you're
absolutely.
trying to validate yourself outside of yourself, but you're not even in a place to be able to do that for yourself properly. So the whole thing just goes, and then before you know it, I've been on this whole, well, I can't even do that anymore, and I can't do this anymore, and before you know it, you just get worse and worse and worse and worse. Um, there's it's amazing to have awareness. You're right, and I think the fact that even we want to change these behaviors or address these behaviors is amazing in itself. But I think actually how low this has made me feel also needs addressing as well. You know.
Yeah. And it is that self-sabotaging, Liv, you know? Um,
Mm,
and also it's the amount of information that is getting put into our heads now, because I want to come back to what you were talking about with social media. You know,
mm,
we're all completely psychoanalyzing everything.
mm.
And yeah, I agree for us, the minute you like somebody, the minute something's happening, growing, we get the cards out, we look into it, we try and look into it, and then we freak ourselves out, and then we completely overthink and let the gremlins in to go, oh my God, I'm too much. I'm saying too much. I'm overgiving. I'm all of this. Instead of, and this is a lesson maybe, being so comfortable within ourselves that, well, if that's the right person, then they're going to receive that properly from me. You know, they're going to receive that and take that because you're not too much. Nobody's too much. Nobody is doing it wrong. We're all learning, male and female. We're all trying to figure this out. There's no doubt that this world and the dating world and falling in love is completely different these days. Men don't know where they stand. Women have got hearts that are bursting that just want that love, want that care. But then on the other hand, we've got the people online, the women online teaching girls online to protect their peace so much that they're not letting people in. To
Yeah.
to be this, do that. You've got to love yourself first. You've got to do all this, and that's all, wonderful to a certain extent. We don't need someone else in our life, but my God, men and women need each other. There's no doubt
Yeah.
about that.
And to be honest, I've mastered being by myself. I could be by myself. I've
Yeah,
done it. I'm more than
yeah,
capable. Mastered the class. But honestly, the only way we are able to stay in connection, be in connection with others is by learning through them. There's
yes.
no other
And
way.
that's not
There's
happening. But that's not happening,
no,
Liv. It's
no.
not, because we're running away. And it's interesting because energetically we're going through the same thing, although
Mm.
the roles are a little switched because you're the one that's running away. But I just had someone run away from me. And again, I feel it was through the fear of, oh my God, this is something that's real.
I was going
But
to
what
say
happened?
this.
Yeah, sorry.
No, no. I was just going to say that actually, I was thinking about men, and most men get labeled as being avoidance, like straight off the bat. Do you know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
they always come in with like I don't want any commitment. I want it casual, blah, 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 like XYZ. Actually, a lot of them do feel, and a lot of them do want to have that closeness. I do feel like there is an expectation, and a lot of this comes down to what you said as well about what women are being taught online by other women about empowerment and not taking this and not doing that. And if your man's not paying the bill, then he doesn't like you enough. Do you know what I mean? And for men, that is such a burden on their shoulders already because do you know what? They probably just want to fall in love like we do.
I
They
think there's
they
just
want
so
that
much
connection like
pressure.
we do, but they are
Yeah.
under so much pressure to perform, to look
Hmm.
after us.
Hmm.
There's already this like list of expectations on men on everything they've got to do for a woman before they've even got there or made that connection with them. And
Yeah.
women are guilty of holding men to this expectation. We are. Because even me lately, they haven't texted me first, so I'm not going to message them. Well, why don't I get off my ass and message them first?
Yeah.
Why,
It works both ways.
what's it always got to be them?
Yeah.
You
But
know?
women are getting taught that no, stay silent, let him do all the work. But actually,
Yeah,
it's on both of us. It's
yeah,
on it's on both people to do the work, to face the
yeah.
fear, to communicate.
Mm,
And that's a big thing, to communicate so that somebody isn't left ghosted, so that somebody isn't left wondering what they did. Because what, 9 times out of 10, it's actually probably nothing that the other person did. It was the mind gremlins, it was the fear, it was the
yeah.
expectation, it was all of that. I could have easily fallen in love with that person that I just met recently. And I think it was just after our last podcast, about 6 weeks ago. You know, fantastic connection, talked daily. And I thought I'd learned love. I thought I understood love bombing. I thought I understood all that. Didn't feel like that. It felt like genuine connection, getting to know somebody and building on something. And it's like I've got this huge heart, just like you, that wants to pour all this love out. And like you, like what you said, if you've got my attention, you've got my attention. And I will send you silly messages, silly videos, check in on you, do that kind of thing. But that was being completely reciprocated
Mm,
until all of a sudden, out of complete nowhere, boom, gone. And I'm like, what happened this time?
mm,
Because this time I didn't understand it.
yeah,
This time, but of course, it makes you go into that space of, I'm too much.
yeah,
Yeah,
100%. But you're
I'm too
not.
much. Yeah, nobody is. Nobody is. But it's this, the connections coming into our lives to help us grow, to help
Yeah.
us understand ourselves a little bit more, to, yeah. And it's not just about the relationships, because what else has been going on is really tough energies recently.
Mm,
Every second person I talk to feels like they're going through a mental breakdown right now.
oh,
Yeah,
wow. Yeah.
yeah. The strongest people, you, me, it's like, oh my God, I feel like I've been going insane.
Mm,
What's going on here? Is it because we've got too much noise, too much access to too much information, that we're getting so overwhelmed that not just in relationships, but within ourselves, there's far too much expectation for the next thing, the next goal, the next achievement, instead of going, do you know what? I just want to be quiet for a while.
yeah.
Go and walk in the forest and reconnect with nature. And yeah, but it doesn't mean my heart doesn't still ache for that love in my life. But no, it terrifies me. I can't lie. No, it terrifies me to even let that door open again to somebody else because I'm afraid that'll happen again.
Yeah.
So how do we fix that?
See, you know what I want to say to you. Don't close the door. Do you know, like, these experiences cannot close that door for us, because if we keep that door closed, we'll be keeping it closed on the right person, you know? And I think there's, it's a thing, isn't it? And I used to be like this. I've got better. I must admit, I've got better. When I was younger, any partner that came into my life was forever. They were forever. We
Yeah,
were going to get married. It was going to be this, 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 this. We were never going to split up. Oh my God, especially my first serious partner. Like, as I've, to be fair, one thing that I am getting better with is that I can appreciate that people can come into your life for a time. You know, you can have a long term, you can have a whatever. Like, I understand that not it, because really, in effect, nothing is forever, is it? Not really.
nothing is.
And
Nothing
I
is.
think a lot of the problem is that we are all, as human beings, absolutely terrified of change. We're terrified
Yeah,
of change, and
but
that's
I
what we can't
also,
handle.
but I also feel that it's so important to recognize that people seem to be enjoying this first initial stages of a relationship. And then as soon as
Mm,
something challenges them, they run.
yeah, yeah,
And people are letting go of good people and real potential partners just because that trigger comes up, that fear comes up. I know you've wanted to run from the relationship that you're in recently because of everything that has come up for you. And I really care that you've worked and stayed in it.
yeah.
It's not easy,
It's
life.
a very, the thing is, it almost feels like to me, just it, do you know what it feels like? It feels like this feels like a massive lesson in like opening my heart up. I don't know how long this experience will last. I don't know the longevity of it. I don't know what, but I do feel like is that this is teaching me, it is actually teaching me that not like all pain has to stay as pain. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's almost like transforming that. It's transforming and letting go of past hurts. Because
yeah,
if I've learned anything of late, I'm holding on to stuff that I thought I'd let go of. And I'm carrying that around like I've got the literally the world on my shoulder. Like it's that um yeah, I
it's been
just
that heavy. It's been that heavy.
can I about to die.
Oh,
And you don't want that to him.
no, please no, not on our first night back. Okay, where were
Um
we?
so yeah. But you know, the thing is for me, and there's been other factors as well. So I suppose I don't want because there's other things going on in my life as well. And I think this touches on what you were speaking about with a lot of people actually feeling like they're going through massive transformations, massive, you know, everyone seems to be being forced into healing
Yeah.
and recognizing themselves.
Mhm.
Um, and there are other factors that are going on in my life too
You know,
that are
there's no doubt
causing
that
more weight.
there's a there's a huge shift going on just now. And
Mm,
in my experience, when all of that pain comes up to the surface, all of these old patterns, old lessons, all of that pain, there's two choices to be made. recognizing that pain is actually a gift, that it's teaching you something, and that you're just about to have a breakthrough, or the choice of this pain is everlasting and I'm going to stay in it. And some people do.
Yes.
But what I want to give to people is the fact that it's the rubber band effect. I like to talk about this often. You know, we get spirit, God, universe, however you see it, whatever your beliefs are. They pull you back, pull you back, pull you back, pull you back right into the depths of darkness, and then boom, that rubber band gets projected right into the light. And this is the moment, Liv, if we had the decision tonight if we were going to sit together.
Yeah.
And that's when the difference happens, when we take action in our lives,
Yeah.
where we do sit, where we do become vulnerable in whatever situation. You don't need to be making a podcast or anything for it. But this was us getting back to work, basically. This was us getting back to what we're meant to be doing.
Mm.
Because, like you said at the very beginning, I think actually just when we first met in the call, we could have easily not done this and procrastinated and just let everything that we've worked for, everything that we've built, slide away while we're in this pain. But actually, it's taking action through it. Even if you can't see there's another side to it, believing there's another side to it.
Yeah.
Believing that if you can just pick yourself up, dust yourself off, get back on it, all of these lovely phrases, and just go, no, this has all come up for a reason. I'm
Yeah.
going to learn from it. I'm going to move through it. But it's interesting that you said, Liv, that you feel your lesson is that you opening your heart.
Mm.
Because for me right now, I want to shut it down. Can't lie. It's like, oh my God, I am so done with this huge, big, bleeding heart of mine that,
Mm.
and don't get me wrong, I don't let people into my life easily. I mean, in relationship wise,
Mm.
I do not let people into my life easily. It's got to take something, and it doesn't happen very often. So for that to come into my life, for me to open it so wide and believe it, it just knocked me senseless again. And it knocks you down so far as to just what's happening here, you know? And we do blame ourselves. We do blame
Yeah, we
ourselves.
do. And I think but that's a, in a way, that's the problem, isn't it? Because we just want to redirect the blame onto us because we're so naturally giving and we do have these hard, when I fall in love, I love hard. I
Same.
love hard. And I
Yeah.
know that I can be useless with boundaries.
Same.
I'd give you the world and probably like a bit more of the universe if I could. I'm a bit, I don't, I could be a bit ridiculous. But that's also something that I'm having to learn now is that actually, for me, it's almost like I've spent this quite a long time recovering from a really unpleasant experience. And I've managed to sort of pour into myself, and now all these lovely gifts and things have opened up and opportunities have opened up. And I do feel like this is very much what it's teaching me is not only about sort of opening my heart up, but it's almost teaching me to kind of don't lose yourself in it. Like don't lose yourself in this.
Yes.
Don't lose what you've worked hard for. Don't give all of yourself away again. Don't
Mm.
remember that like you need you. because I'll lose myself in, and it's just, there's just so much stuff that comes with it. There's a lot of stuff that from childhood that comes with it, to be honest,
Yes.
with all this. I
Yeah.
didn't realize, and really, a lot of people talk about like childhood trauma and whatnot, and I'm not. I had a lovely upbringing, but there's stuff that we learn, isn't there? And there's stuff that no parents are perfect, are they? No, because none of us are perfect, but we have these experiences and they stay with us and we carry them on. And I think right now, a lot of what I'm experiencing is like old conditioning and old patterns that
Mhm.
also don't just haven't just begun from bad relationships. It actually goes a lot further down the line. And actually, a lot of what I'm experiencing right now is stuff that I've learned as a child and as a teenager, and
Yeah.
that weren't necessarily created from romantic relationships, obviously, but the other relationships. And, I was talking to someone the other day. We were talking about our old school trip when we were in year six or whatever. And you got to think, what, you're like 10 or 11? You're not
Yeah.
old when you're in year six, are you? At all? You're a baby. And I said, yeah, I remember this one boy, he said something about my face. And do you know that comment has stuck with me forever, and it still sticks with
Yeah.
me now. But it goes to show the staying power behind words, doesn't it? Like
Absolutely.
throwaway comment that was probably just meant to make the other kids laugh or the people around them laugh. Like it probably wasn't this malicious, like, I'm coming for you, Olivia, and I'm going to upset you. But that stuck with me forever. And
Mhm.
even now, I'm like, my brain will go, oh, yeah, remember what so and
Yeah.
so said about your face. So a lot of this stuff that we're carrying on to doesn't even seem like massive, doesn't even seem that big. But we do, and we don't realize that we're holding on to all this stuff, and that words and have staying power. And if you're an overthinker like me, who an absolutely epic overthinker, who analyzes every word, every breath, every action, every behavior from someone.
That's when the human mind becomes really interesting, Liv, because why is it we remember the negative, you
But
know,
not the positives.
but not the
Yeah, I don't get it
positive,
either.
and we don't. Because when you brought up that there, you took me straight into a memory of being
Mm,
at school and something similar happening to me, and that stuck with me. And it is in our low points that these little mind gremlins come back and want to remind us that
yeah.
of all of these negative things. And I know a lot of people out there hate going, oh, it's because of your childhood, because of your childhood. But ultimately, the brain, between the ages of you being born and 7 years old, that is your brain being conditioned by your environment, your culture, your parents, your family, the people around you. It's just the way it is. And and that's the thing with trauma. We all think it must be this huge thing that, you were seriously abused or whatever between these ages. But ultimately, it doesn't even have to be that. It's a case of the example I like to give is you're 3 years old, you and your friend you've just got an ice cream off the ice cream van, and theirs falls. They steal yours, you start crying, but you get the row and be told that you're lying. That stays in a kid's head. You're a liar. You're not going to be believed. That's trauma. So, and that's part of the big healing thing. And that was something that I really had to open up to within the, when I was going through the depth of my healing, was that my experience were valid. My trauma was valid. I love my parents. I love my family. Like you said, is anybody perfect? No. Do I blame them for it? No, I understand now. And don't get me wrong, there'll be a lot of people out here listening to this that did not have good experiences whatsoever. And but it doesn't make you a bad person, and it doesn't mean you need to carry that on, because there's some people that have been through the most horrific things in this life that are doing amazing things now. It's how much we as adults now let these gremlins take over and keep us down, keep our vibration low, so to speak, keep us in that dark space of you're not good enough, you're not worthy, you you don't deserve love, you're not pretty, you're overweight, or you're this, you're that, you're too skinny. Because I was talking to somebody the other day, it's the same, both sides, you know.
Mm.
um but I also think it comes back to this culture of we've got too much information.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have time to breathe anymore and listen to our own intuition, listen to our own thoughts. Everybody on social media thinks that they're a therapist now and that they know. And they're telling, young women, young men how to behave, how to act. And actually, it's only coming from their experience, which is valid and it'll help some people. But ultimately, there's so much damage being done right now. So much damage to people's mindsets, to people's belief in themselves. It's like, if you don't measure up to this standard that you see online, then you're not worth it. You're not working hard enough on yourself. You're not doing enough. You're not achieving enough. You're not in the right relationship. You're not doing all of this. And certainly over the last couple of days, what's starting to bring me out of my own spiral is just going, enough. Put that phone down. Put that noise away. Stop listening to other people's thoughts, feelings, and opinions of
Mm.
your life, and find your dopamine hit another way, because ultimately that's what social media is, the dopamine hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our brains actually have no capacity to hold all those different opinions, all those different energies, all those different people. Like, our brains are actually not wired for that.
No.
And you've got to think in about 60 seconds, you can watch about 4 videos. You could probably watch more than that. All different perspectives, all different messages, contrasting the whole thing. And the way that we digest that now as if it's normal, and it's not. It's
It's not.
not normal. And I think the last couple of weeks where I've, because it's been bad,
Yeah.
it's been a really low place. And even in those spare moments, just pick up the phone and you start scrolling. And you're actually adding so much more. You, it just doesn't help. You're just adding so much more heaviness and so much more unnecessary weight.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you can't even cope with your own thoughts, and then you're adding everybody else's into the mix, you're just
It's
making
overwhelming.
like life double, literally double hard, aren't you?
Yeah, it's overwhelming. And also, it exactly fits in with that, that what you just said, that insult that somebody gave you when you were younger that's stuck in your head.
Mm,
That information that we're getting doing all this scrolling, that's sticking in your head. Oh, if I do this, I'll be better. If I look like this, I'll be better. Oh, they've got a red flag. That if they're not treating me that way, that's not good enough. It's all of this bombardment, and it's not true. It's not true. I think that people have forgotten just how to be. The most beautiful time I've had in the last few days was taking my dog a walk through the forest. But I
mm,
haven't been, my brain's been going too fast for me to even pay attention to that recently.
mm,
But it took me to actually be in the moment, in the forest with my dog, looking at him. picking up sticks, being so happy that my intuition came back. And we've all got intuition, people out there. Everyone has.
Yes.
It is it is something that is innate in us. There's all these fancy words for it, psychic, medium, all the rest of it. Yeah, they're all labels. Each and every human is born with intuition.
Mm.
Each and every human has got that gut feeling. And actually, it's scientifically proven. I always need the science, Liv. It's neuroscience is working on it, discovering it, knowing it. Okay, so is this thing of we are being so bombarded with so much information that we are not getting a chance to hear ourselves anymore. So we're reaching for medications, we're reaching for the quick dopamine hit of what drugs, drink, that kind of thing, to numb ourselves from the pain, the feeling, when actually, if we would just be still within ourselves, at least for a few days, you might start to hear yourself again.
I honestly, if I could time travel and if I could take elements of where we are now and drive them back into the past or bring the past back, because I honestly believe that the generations before us were on an absolute winner with not having, honestly, to some degree, the tech that we have these days.
Yeah.
You know, I used to love hearing the stories of like my dad, he had to go and knock for my mum if he wanted to see her. He had to ring her
Yes.
up and say, I will see you, I will be at your door on Friday at seven
Uh-huh.
o'clock. I'll be
And
there.
then people
If you
would
want to speak to
crave
her
for each
before,
other.
yeah, you had to be
Yeah.
there. Or you had to
Yeah.
actually go and see the person if
Yeah.
you wanted to see them or talk to them. And now we just have lost, we're losing it massively behind
We're too
screens
available.
and yeah.
We're too available. And
So
I love what you've just said, Liv, because I think that's probably what just wrecked what I thought was just building there for me. We had too much access to each other. We were constantly texting, voice noting, that kind of thing. There was no space to miss, to crave all of these beautiful feelings when, yeah, because, yeah, I remember the days when we didn't have mobile phones where, if you wanted to see somebody like that, you made a plan, you made a date, but then you both had the chance to think about it and make it grow, make that connection grow. Whereas now we've got too much access to each other. And in one way, it's nice. The conversation's nice, the communication's nice, all the rest of it. But there's no craving anymore. It's just constant dopamine hits.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's almost it's becoming ingrained, isn't it? If they're not messaging you, they're not interested. But
Yeah.
actually, that's just anxious attachment forming, isn't it?
Yes.
Constantly needing to speak to a person. Because sometimes I sit here and I think, is it the actual person I want to speak to, or is it just the hit of somebody reaching out
Yeah.
to me that I want?
Yeah.
You've got no time to like process how you actually feel about a person because you kind of get lost in all this quick communication and this back and forth and how you're describing.
Mm,
But is it actually the person that you want? Like, is it actually them that you want? Are you actually
yeah.
interested in them?
Yeah.
Or are you just enjoying like the validation of that and the availability of it all? You know what I mean?
Oh, exactly. Exactly. And it is, it's our brains getting again too much information, wanting that constant attention, that constant dopamine hit. And I do think that's where it goes wrong. It's okay if somebody doesn't text you for a couple of days. People have
Mm.
lives and they should have lives.
Yeah,
They should, and that's where I want to come back to what you said, because I'm like you. If I get into something with somebody, I lose myself. And
yeah,
maybe that was my lesson this time. That hold on a minute, don't lose yourself again, Pam. You're doing too much. You've built too much. You've worked too hard. Not to just give it all up to be constantly in this communication of this relationship.
yeah.
It's like remember who you are. Remember that you've got your own life, and not to be that person that is just all about their partner, their boyfriend, or their girlfriend, or that's not what life's about. That should add to your life.
Yes.
But I do miss
Yeah.
the fact that we don't get the chance to crave for someone anymore.
I
You
know.
know?
And it must have been so exciting
Yeah,
thinking about
yeah,
it. You know what it's like
mm,
when you are longing for, like when you're not, I don't know, when you want, so, I don't know, when you see a dress that you want, or do you know what I mean? Shoes that you love, or a bag that you love, and you haven't got enough money. So you've got to go out and earn that money to be able to afford to get that. Like, but you're so
yeah,
excited because you're going to get it, but
yeah,
it's kind of like that, isn't it?
yeah. There's no build
And I
up
think
anymore.
that's,
Mm,
yeah, we don't. We don't.
yeah, yeah. And
So,
because we overwhelm each other in the very beginning of relationships, so much comes up so quickly
yes.
that then that's when it's like, oh, it's not a dopamine hit anymore. That's a fear trigger. I'm out. I'm going
Yeah.
back to start again with somebody new, with all of this, and I'll get all of these good feelings again. And that's when it just keeps, yeah. And no wonder there is so many people online complaining and creating all of this narrative about red flags and not getting
Mm,
back to me, not texting me, not doing this, not doing that, because people are getting so used to that constant communication, excitement, instead of actually going, do you know what, let's be comfortable in this, let's enjoy this moment, let's enjoy these feelings, let it breathe. Yeah. But I
yeah.
also think there's not enough action being taken either. It's like, this might just be my experience. It's all talk. Where's the action?
Yeah.
Because I'm remembering back to hearing stories about my mum and dad meeting each other, you know,
Mm,
and my dad putting out his jacket round her the first night that he met because it was raining and he was walking home and she had been with her friends. And yeah, he met her and just the spark, put his jacket round her, walked her home, but then couldn't see her for a few days. But then he would go and buy her flowers or, you know, like go and call on her, like you say, having to
yeah.
go to the actual house. And that's the feelings, the nervousness, the excitement that I don't think people are getting from relationships anymore.
No.
There's no
And
effort
I also,
anymore.
yeah, there is none. And there's also the quick availability, isn't there? To just, oh, well, if so and so isn't messaging me, I'll go and message other so and so. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Because it's that easy. And if it wasn't that easy, it wouldn't be happening. If we didn't have
But
phones, if we were thinking back to the past, it wasn't like that because it wasn't that easy. It wasn't as easy as
yeah,
that.
I mean, personally,
Um,
I'm not on dating apps or anything like that, and I don't disagree with
no.
them. My mum's got a beautiful relationship from a dating app, so is my little cousin. She got married. There is value in them, but I do believe that if you don't have quite the right intentions, just like you're saying, yeah, you would end up talking to about 10 different people. Or they're not messenger based, so I'll message that other person, message that other person. But even being visible online, I got a lot of communication in my inbox.
Mm.
And it's hard to trust people. It's really hard to trust people. I mean, personally, I'm not like that. If I'm speaking to someone, you're the only person that's got my attention. I'm extremely loyal about that.
Yeah.
But while I'm single and there's people chatting to me, I'll chat.
Mm.
But I wouldn't do that if I was seeing somebody. But I do think it's too available. You know,
Yes.
I've got
Yeah,
married
yeah.
men that message me. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, God, if you were my husband, that would not be happening. You know,
No.
and I, but I also agree that men and women can be friends. Don't get me wrong. It's all
Mm.
about intention. It's like, what's the intention behind it? Because I am friends with married men who message me. Like, I just want to
Yeah,
make
yeah,
that
yeah.
clear. It's not like
Yeah.
that. But where's the intention? Where's the loyalty? Where's the want to get past the fear? Right back to exactly what we're talking about. Want to get past that fear and grow with somebody.
Mm,
Yeah, be in the moment, be
yeah,
excited about it,
yeah.
enjoy being in love. But we're terrified of being in love, apparently. Yeah,
Because I think we feel so deeply. It's
yeah,
not
nothing
just
surface
like,
level for me. Yeah,
it's not surface level. I'm not surface level about anything in life,
no,
to be fair.
I don't think we could be live.
And
I don't think it's possible.
fair, if it doesn't interest me, you're not getting, it's, you know, you're not getting much out of me. And that's to do with anything. If there's something doesn't interest me in life, it's not getting my attention.
Yeah,
But anything that I am passionate about or interested in, I'm not a surface level person. And none of my connections, platonic or romantic or whatever, like they're not surface level.
no,
That's just not how I do things. And I think when, and I suppose this goes outside romance, this isn't just about romance and whatnot, because the way I've been feeling lately isn't just about the romantic side of life, it's
yeah,
about different aspects. And I think because we feel so deeply, this is why it becomes such a unraveling, if you like.
yeah.
Because
Oh, here you
it's safe
go.
to say that I haven't felt this way in a very long time. And I can be quite open with this. I've struggled with, I think my mum first took me to a GP when I was 12 for low mood. I have since been diagnosed with autism, so it's quite possible that I've spent a lot of time going through autistic burnouts and whatnot. But I think the first time, yeah, I was 11, and I can remember having intrusive thoughts then. And I'm 36 now, Virgin, I'm 37. That's a long time. And
Yeah,
also to feel those types of emotions at such a young age, it's been a lot. And I've gone through life like this a bit, and experiences have triggered me. Relationships do trigger me, has been part of that. But I think the last few weeks, and now, because I'm not 100% now,
yeah,
but I like what you said earlier, I've had to make a decision of late whether I'm going to go down a road that is not going to be helpful and isn't going to serve me. And that's not to be hard on myself, but I'm having to remember just how far I've come throughout all of this. So, there isn't a day at the moment where I don't have some sort of, you know,
Spirit knew what they were doing when they put us together, Liv. My
yeah,
story is very, very similar. Yeah, I was 9. Yeah, and put on heavy medication.
yeah,
So, and exactly like you, over the last few weeks, it's been a case of I've got to make a decision. Work too
yeah,
hard. Haven't felt like this in a long time.
mm,
But I know that you can get out of this. That I can get out of this. And anybody that is listening to us, you will get through this.
absolutely.
Last week I was at a funeral of a childhood friend who couldn't take the pain anymore, who fought the battle and decided to take his own life. And it comes full circle to exactly why we're doing this,
Yeah,
is that I never want anyone to feel that way, ever. But I feel that way. You feel
mm,
that way. But I think it's so important we're talking about it
mm,
because there are still good times to come. There's
yes,
many of them, many of them. but we do hold on to the little pockets of happiness because we're terrified we'll lose them, and somehow energetically that pushes them away
Mm.
instead of being in the moment and enjoying the good thing that happened that day, no matter what it was. Did somebody smile at you today as they walked past? Did you hold somebody hold a door open for you? You know, somebody polite, was somebody kind? Let's hold on to these things. It doesn't have to be big, it doesn't have to be huge. Like the other day, I bumped into somebody that I never particularly liked their energy and I wouldn't have spoken to them, but she turned and smiled at me. And I thought, you know what? I don't know what you're going through, love. So I smiled back and we chatted. She walked away with a smile on her face. And I felt a shift because I wasn't holding on to whatever it was that my opinion could have been about her.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what each of us are battling, what each of us are facing, these intrusive thoughts that I know so many of us get. And my God, I would love to speak to a neurotypical and go, how's that empty in there? Like,
Yeah, I know.
uh, how
Yeah.
how how's that empty? Because it never shuts up. Yeah, it never
Oh,
shuts
my
up.
mind never stops. Never
No,
stops.
no,
Never. I don't know a quiet mind.
no. And I mean, for goodness sake, I'm a hypnotherapist. I do meditation every day. I make content about that. But that's what's so powerful is taking back control,
Mm.
taking back
Yes.
control. But we are a whole human, and sometimes it slips, and sometimes for weeks at an end, I won't do that work on myself. But then I feel
Mm.
it. I feel it. I feel it. I break down. I can't cope. Gosh, I even shut my calendar because I thought I couldn't do my work anymore.
Yeah.
But it's shift and live.
I thought to myself today, at the moment, I've got two voices going on. I've got this really positive voice, this really calm and peaceful voice that's going, everything's going to be all right, or you
Mhm.
don't need to panic about this. It's it's almost like this future self. You know what I mean? Like this
Yeah,
higher self, future self, this self that knows that once I get over these hurdles, I'm going to be all right. And
yeah.
then there's this other voice, like this old, feel you know what I mean? Dark forces. Oh, just this.
Hmm.
No, it's not. It's like a back chat. Do you know what I mean? Your teacher's trying to
Hmm.
teach you something, and you're the cheeky student that won't shut up, that's always going, "Da, da, 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 da." You know what I mean?
Oh,
That's what's
absolutely.
happening with me at the moment. And I think a lot of
Yeah.
us can relate to that.
I think everybody that's listening will relate to that, Liv. And
Yeah,
it literally is that angel and devil on our shoulders, isn't it? The
yeah,
energy that wants to keep us down, that wants to keep us low, that wants us not to believe in ourselves, that wants to keep that fear. And that's how I've been feeling, waking up with fear in me daily.
mm,
And it's like, what is going on?
yeah,
But then we do have that beautiful voice of, and I love how you said your future self, your higher self, because it's true. It's that version of us that can see that just hold on, because everything
mm,
is going to be okay. And you know
yeah,
what? If you can believe right now that you're okay right now, even with the voices going on, the hurdles
yeah,
will get easier to move over. You know, because I do the same as you, Liv. I think, right, okay, well, if I get past this next point, if I get past this, and if I deal with this, and if I deal with that,
mm,
then everything's going to be better. Whereas I actually believe that no matter where we're at with our mental health,
mm,
with that fear, we need to keep reminding that voice in our head that we're absolutely okay right now.
yeah, yeah, we do. I've been
And
saying to
that makes
myself
that
little
better.
things,
Mm.
literally little, I am calm, I'm present,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah,
it's not a lot, it's massive, it's not a massive speech to myself, it's just, I'm here, you know.
yeah.
I had a really lovely conversation with a gentleman earlier, when I was out at the shops, and he just said, "Are you okay today?" And I said, "I'm a little bit in my head." I was quite honest. I was just like, "I'm a little bit in my head." But he said, "You remember you're here. You're alive. You're in this moment right now. And I was just like, and he gave me a hug. And I was like,
Oh,
yeah, I am. We all, it sometimes it takes like just a little bit of kindness like that, doesn't it? For you to go,
that's exactly what
yes,
I'm saying.
it's okay. Yeah,
We all need to be a little
yeah,
bit kinder to each other and kinder
we
to
do.
ourselves. And it
And that
doesn't
made such a
take,
difference.
yeah,
That made such a difference to me today, you know?
that would have changed your whole day and your whole outlook, Liv. And for the
Yeah.
fact of, and exactly what you said, you don't need to do anything major in your mind to change it. It's just that when these intrusive thoughts come in, just taking a breath and going, I'm calm, I'm fine, everything's going to be
Mm,
okay. I've got this. I'm okay. I'm okay right now. I'm here. I've got everything I need in this moment. And ultimately, that's all that matters.
mm.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm so glad we spoke and did
me
this.
too. Me too. And on that note, I will draw our conversation to a close because we've got so much more to talk about.
Yes.
But I do care that this has helped at least one person out there live because that's exactly why we're doing it. You know, to show
Yeah.
people that you're not alone, that even the people that you admire, that you look up to, that we're all a bit batshit crazy.
Yes. Yeah.
But we've got the
Mm.
determination to work through it.
We
Yeah,
do. In fact, we all do, don't we? We all do.
everybody does. You just have to believe that in yourself. Be
Mm.
determined. The next minute could be different. The next half hour could be different. The next day could be different. You
Yeah.
know, everything, even when you think that nothing is happening, everything is happening. And
Mm.
this life is minuscule, minuscule. So no matter what you've got going on out there, just know that you're not alone. And if anything that we've talked about today has brought anything up for you, please reach out to someone for help.
Mm.
Please reach out to us if you need it, but please reach out to someone. Don't be alone in it. Okay. But we will be back soon with some amazing interviews. We've got some lovely people that want to sit and chat and share their lives and their stories. And yeah, so we'll see you really soon.